Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here, and in today's video, we are going to be doing some longer-term technical analysis on Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency markets because, guys, there is a very important pattern on Bitcoin right now. It's a long-term pennant on Bitcoin that has been in effect ever since the beginning of May of this year. A lot of people are forgetting that we are in a massive pennant pattern at the end of a massive rally, which means that we are in a flag, which means that we have about a 70% chance of breaking massively to the upside. If we're talking several $1,000s with a price target of like $15,000, we'll be talking about that later on. But in this video, I want to redirect our attention away from everything that's going on the short term to the long term, because there are a lot of very bullish things going on the longer term chart that nobody is really talking about and no one seems to be paying any attention to, because it's much easier to talk about Bitcoin crashing to $3,600 or something. I am of the opinion that most of the technical analysis and most of the fundamental analysis is pointing very bullish, and in this video, we are going to be breaking down exactly why that is. So if you guys do enjoy today's video, consider hitting that like and subscribe button. Also, if you're new here, make sure to post a comment down below letting us know that you are new here, and we will make sure to give you a warm welcome. We'll make sure to give you a warm welcome. Absolutely. Anyway, guys, before we jump on into it, I do just first briefly want to mention the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy. As you guys know, CT2A is on sale right now. You can use the July 2020 $40 off coupon code to get access to the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy, where you will learn everything you need to know and more about trading and analyzing Bitcoin and cryptocurrency markets. Believe me, guys, learning TA is one of the most valuable skills that you will ever learn. It has completely changed my life. That has been apparent through these videos for the last nearly 3 years that we've been uploading. So if you're interested in learning more, check us out at the link in the description down below. But without much further ado, guys, let's go ahead and dive right on into it. Before we get started, I have a very, very special announcement to make, and that is that you, crew, are to be crowned the dopest kid of 2020. What a title, guys. I know your daddy loves you very, very much, so here's your shout out, man. Here's your 5 seconds of fame. There you go. Dad's probably a pretty cool guy. I bet he loves you very much. Your dad sounds like an awesome guy. Make sure you listen to him. Dads are awesome. Anyway, guys, let's go ahead and jump onto the chart. I just think it's so cool that some of you guys watch this show with your kids. I remember when we were going to have to get rid of Real Good Feeling because of some licensing issues. I posted about that on Twitter, and someone was like, no, you can't get rid of Real Good Feeling at the end. My son and I jammed to that song after every video, and I was just like, okay, that settles it. We're just going to have to figure out how to keep the song. And thankfully, we got the licensing figured out, and actually, the contract is still sitting on my desk. I need to file that. But yeah, we got it for another year, so there you go. We're not going to have to get rid of Real Good Feeling. Worked all that out. Now let's get started. Guys, the last several months on Bitcoin have been very, very interesting. As you guys will know, Bitcoin was in a massive uptrend here. We rallied over 120%, 160% at our peak. And what's really important here, guys, is that this uptrend ended right here on the 7th of May. That lasted about 55 days. Ever since then, our sideways trading has lasted about 65 days. What that means is that we have a roughly proportional in size flag to the rally that we started. And what that means is that we're probably going to see a break of said pennant relatively soon. In fact, if we just clear everything off the chart, then you realize what I'm talking about. It becomes very difficult to see this pattern if we have the chart clutter with moving averages and other levels of support and resistance and VPVR and all these other things. But if you pay attention to only these two trend lines, then what you will see is that Bitcoin is very far into this consolidation pattern, and we only have a couple of weeks left inside of it, which means a major breakout of it should be expected this month. Depending on how you draw it, this pennant pattern is about 90 days long. We are over 2/3 of the way through it. And what that means is that we should be expecting some kind of major break to the upside or to the downside relatively soon. So let's talk about which direction that might be heading. First things first, we obviously have to acknowledge that this being a pennant pattern is going to have a higher likelihood of breaking to the upside, statistically speaking. These patterns normally break to the upside about 70% of the time. A pennant pattern, as those of you in CT2A will have learned in this video right here, will normally break to the upside with about a 70% likelihood. And that's a very good thing, because not only does Bitcoin have about a 70% chance of breaking to the upside simply based on that one technical, we're also above the 200 daily SMA. We've had a bullish cross between the 100 and the 200. The weekly chart 20 and 50 have crossed in only the 4th instance of this ever happening in the history of Bitcoin. All 3 previous times here, and here led to a bull market of biblical proportions. And everything from our position on weekly chart moving averages to the long-term fundamentals on Bitcoin are looking bullish. To that, you might say, well, Jeb, what about the decreasing volume? Jeb, what about the decreasing interest, both on the YouTube platform, on Google? What about the people that are not searching the key search term Bitcoin as much? What about the lower open interest in Bitcoin over the last 2 months? Well, you bring up a very good point, but here's why that's actually a good thing. Volume goes down. Volatility goes down. Open interest goes down. Interest in the space goes down. Outside and inside investment goes down. All of these things decline. All of that happens as a start because volatility is dropping as we are being constrained between two moving averages. So if you've been paying attention to the YouTube space lately, you'll see a lot of people complaining about declining volume. You'll see a lot of people complaining about declining volatility, declining open interest, declining Bitcoin search interest, declining YouTube views. All kinds of things are declining. But wait a second, did we forget that that's what's supposed to happen during a pennant? Did we forget that that is to be expected during a pennant? And by the way, did we forget that this pennant, as I said earlier, has a 70% chance of breaking to the upside? This is what I'm talking about when I say we need to be careful about looking too close into the short term and not zooming out. Yes, the last couple of days, hell, the last several weeks on Bitcoin have been low volatility, low interest, low returns, low volume, low everything. Everything's been going down. Bitcoin's been trading sideways. But ask yourself the question, should we expect anything less of a 3-month-long pennant pattern? No, we shouldn't. What we should be expecting is decreasing volatility, volume, open interest, interest on YouTube, outside and inside investment in the space. That is to be expected. So now that you understand that, because that's a very important thing, a lot of people are saying that's bearish, but it's not. It's actually just the way it's supposed to happen. With that understood, which way is Bitcoin going to break out of this pennant? Well, I think this is all going to come down to one thing, and that is how strong Bitcoin is able to break bullish here. I do think Bitcoin is going to break bullish, but there are two different ways that it can do it. Bitcoin can either break strong to the upside and have a major rally, start pushing to $11,000 and beyond, or Bitcoin can do this number and rally up to $10,000 or so, and then lose steam and fall over and crash. This is a kind of thing that happens quite a lot, actually. There are going to be two different kinds of breakouts here, and hopefully, if Bitcoin breaks to the upside, we break hard to the upside in accordance with maybe some really good news about Rona, or some really good news about Bitcoin. Maybe something big is happening in the altcoins, and it's driving interest in the space. We want to see a major breakout of Bitcoin. Just a normal Bitcoin breakout isn't good enough. And then, of course, you have the argument that Bitcoin's going to break to the downside here because of all of these low technicals. I think what we are going to see happen is that the deciding factor on how Bitcoin breaks here and what trend we enter, because right now we're in a neutral trend, we're in a sideways trend, the trend that Bitcoin is going to follow is going to be determined by how efficiently the bulls can convert that neutral momentum to bullish momentum. Can Bitcoin break out and see a major resurgence in all of those different things that I just said? Volume, volatility, open interest, etc. Can Bitcoin bring those things back in a big way quickly? If so, on the breakout, then we will be bullish. If not, and we break to the upside, or if we break to the downside, Bitcoin will eventually capitulate and fall over. That's the question you need to be asking yourself. How efficiently can the bulls regain their support amongst the base of people that could be buying Bitcoin? And guys, I'll be honest with you, I think they can do it very efficiently. The technical analysis looks very bullish on Bitcoin. We've had a halving event, and by the way, I saved this for the end. You guys have been following the hash ribbons for the last month, and we did finally see a buy signal on them. The last 3 times that we've seen a buy signal on the hash ribbons, we have seen a 300% rally, a 45% rally, and another 45% rally. If Bitcoin were to rally 45% from where we are right now, we'd be trading at $13,500, and that would be a definitive break of our long-term downtrending level of resistance, and Bitcoin would be heading straight for the moon. These are all just things to think about, and I want you guys looking at the chart through different lenses. Remember, it's very easy to look at a chart one way, and then the next day you look at the chart one way, the next day you look at the chart the same way, and then you forget that there are 20,000 other ways to look at the chart, and your one way, while it may be useful in some scenarios, does not encompass the full picture. You need to be able to look at the market from this angle, and that angle, and that angle, and this angle, and that angle, and then go back in time and look at it into the future, and look at it in, like, time travel into the future, and look at it through the history books. You need to look at it in a lot of different ways, is my point. And this is what I'm talking about. Look at all the different trend lines, every single one of them. Look at all the different patterns, every single one of them. Look at all the different technical indicators, every single one of them. There's wisdom in knowing what to discard, but look at everything. Technical analysis is an art, not a science. It is not a hard thing to do, but it is very complex. So make sure you don't let your pride and your ego come in the way of your profitability, because I guarantee you, you can only serve one of those goals. Anyway, I think I've thoroughly made my point for this video, and that is to look at the longer term perspective and make sure you are doing technical analysis on the longer term so that the shorter term actually makes sense. Because if you don't do that, then it makes no sense why Bitcoin's trading sideways right now. It just seems like Bitcoin's losing all of its momentum, losing all of its steam. But if that were the case, wouldn't you expect it to have started a bearish downtrend yet? But it hasn't. So what argument makes that evidence fit reality? You have to look at the longer term to get that understanding. So guys, like I said, tell me in the comment section down below what you thought about today's analysis. What did you think about today's video? And where do you think we're heading from here? I would love to hear your opinions in the comment section down below so that I can get your opinion and so that I can see the market from a different perspective that is invaluable to me. In fact, not gonna lie, totally just started this YouTube channel so I can steal your technical analysis. That's literally why I did it, so make sure you tell me in the comment section down below what you think so that I can steal your TA and make some trades. I'm joking. Kinda. Anyway, guys, before I go, I do just want to mention the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy. Guys, if you want to learn how to actually be able to look at these markets and analyze these markets, let me tell you something. It is not difficult for an experienced technical analyst to analyze markets. It's not very difficult. However, it is remarkably complex, and learning how to do something hard is just as simple as doing it over and over again and having diligence. But that's not how you learn markets. When you're trying to learn something complex, that takes years of experience. For example, anyone can be taught in a day how to dig a ditch for the next 14 hours. That's very hard. But to do something complex like learning heart surgery, you need to go to school for 10 years to learn to understand that complexity. It's not as simple as holding a shovel and digging. You understand what I'm saying? It's more complex. Cryptocurrency technical analysis is not necessarily hard, but it is very complex, which means that you need to invest in your education in some way. And that is what we have put together here, is a way for you to invest in your education into your mind so that you can understand these markets and profitably trade in them. In CT2A, there are 36 videos and over 12 hours of high-quality content where I have boiled down everything I've learned in nearly 3 years of trading Bitcoin into one course so that you can go through it, and instead of taking 3 years, you can take 2 or 3 weeks and be caught up to speed. Let me ask you something. How do you value your time? Because I remember I sat and I watched, just to give myself an idea of time, I sat and I held my watch yesterday and I watched it for 10 minutes and it felt excruciating. But at the end of it, I realized you never get those 10 minutes back. Time is finite. You can make as much money as you want during your life, but you can never make a second of it back. How much of your time do you want to spend trying to learn technical analysis on your own when I'm showing you the titles to all the videos where it's all sitting right here on my screen? Your time is worth more than that, guys. CT2A is linked in the description down below, and by the way, we charge a fraction of what many other courses in the space do, and unlike many other programs in the space, we, 1, have more content than them, and 2, you get a lifetime membership. This is not a subscription. You join once, you get access to all current and all future content for one low price. So guys, if you'd like to join CT2A, the link to do so is down below. And by the way, 2 of our videos are free previews so that you can see exactly how this program is structured. Those would be our 35-minute long video on how to set up and use TradingView. So if you want a little free piece of content on how to set up and use TradingView exactly the way that I do it, then you can find that over on our website. And as you can see on our landing page, how to spot a winning indicator and pattern, this is a great video, is also available for free preview. You just click that button. You don't even have to make an account, and you can go ahead and watch it right here. And that was back when my hair was shorter. God, I need a haircut. 1,400 likes and I'll get my hair cut tomorrow. I wanted to wait until right before I moved into the office because you have to wear one of these doodads while you're getting a haircut, and that just sounds unpleasant to me. So I've been letting it grow out into like some kind of, you know, party in the back, party in the front also kind of deal. I mean, seriously, look at this. Like, my bangs go down to my nose. Oh my gosh, I look like a 90s metal band. What the Anyway, I'm going to keep rocking the Van Halen look until I move into the office on September 1st, unless we get 1,400 likes on this video, and then I will get a haircut pretty soon. So, there's your challenge. But anyway, guys, if you'd like to join CT2A and you'd like to get access to all of this current content, then I would highly encourage you joining at the link in the description down below. You can join our free Discord server for testimony from our students, and you can talk to people in the comments section because we have 2,000 students who have gone through the academy who can tell you what they think. In fact, I'll commit a cardinal sin of marketing, and I'll tell you what someone who wants a refund right now of the academy just told us. He said, I signed up for CT2A about 10 days ago. However, I will not have time within the near future to be trading, and therefore do not need the courses right now. And he said this has nothing to do with the value of the course. He just wasn't ready. He also said, when the time is right, I will sign up for CT2A again, but this will most likely be early next year. So what that means is that someone who went through the academy, who wanted a refund because they weren't ready for it in their life, still is singing praise about the course. And that leads me into my last point, which is that we do have a full 14-day money-back refund guarantee. And yes, we do accept Bitcoin payments. So if you'd like to do that, shoot us an email, cryptojeb@gmail.com, in the doobly-doo down below. Anyway, guys, that is enough rambling for today's video. Before I go, I do just first want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching, as always. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Oh, I got a real good